PM Cares Fund, right? So this was in news for various reasons, but in today's paper, we can see that there was a petition in Supreme Court asking to transfer this PM Cares Fund to National Disaster Response Fund. Right, there was a petition asking to transfer all the amount in this PM Cares Fund to National Disaster Response Fund. And also the petition says that the second point is asks to come up with a dynamic national disaster plan. It says that the present national plan for disasters, which is made by National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA, is not sufficient to tackle the corona pandemic. So these are the two things which the petition asks in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court asked the government. So in this context, we'll try to know what is this PM Cares Fund, what is the NDRF, National Disaster Response Fund, what is the Disaster Management Act, what is this NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority, right? So all this we'll be knowing in detail with respect to prelims and mains. So to start with, we'll start with PM Cares Fund. So the full form of this is Prime Minister Citizen Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situation Fund, right? PM Cares, Prime Minister Citizen Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situation Fund. So this is the full form of PM Cares, and this fund was started to tackle this corona crisis in an effective way. So the reason for this fundraising was the corona crisis. So this is basically a charitable trust. This is a charitable trust that was started with Prime Minister as the chairman. PM Cares Fund is a charitable trust that is started with Prime Minister as the chairman. And apart from Prime Minister, we have three other members. They are Defense Minister, Home Minister, and Finance Minister. Defense Minister, Home Minister, and Finance Minister. Even these three people are also members of this charitable trust. Third point is now who all can donate to this PM Cares Fund. Every corporate and individual can donate to this PM Cares Fund in any denomination. There is no minimum limit, right? Micro funds are also welcome to this PM Cares Fund. That means even in lowest denominations also we can contribute to this PM Cares Fund, right? So this is the third point. And why was it brought in the first place? To strengthen disaster management capabilities in the corona time, right? So this is briefly about PM Cares Fund. So why there was a petition asking to transfer PM Cares Fund to NDRF, National Disaster Response Fund? What is so special about this National Disaster Response Fund? So to start with, this National Disaster Response Fund is a fund that is maintained by the Government of India under the Disaster Management Act 2005. Right? This is a fund that is maintained by the Government of India under Disaster Management Act 2005. And this fund is managed by the central government. And this fund is brought in the first place under the Disaster Management Act for emergency response, relief, and rehabilitation during disaster times. So this was brought for emergency response, relief, and rehabilitation during the corona crisis or during the disaster time, right? So this is the third point. And also, similar to National Disaster Response Fund, we have state disaster response funds also in the state level. So whenever state disaster response fund is not sufficient to control the disaster in a state, then this NDRF will supplement the SDRF. This feature is also there. So this NDRF, the National Disaster Response Fund, another function is it supplements State Disaster Response Fund. What are the controversies with this PM Cares Fund? Why is it in the news so much? And why are people asking to shift money from PM Cares to National Disaster Response Fund? The first thing is PM Cares Fund does not come under the framework of RTI Act. There was an incident happened where there was an RTI application in the Prime Minister office asking to transparently show how the money is being spent from the PM CARES fund. But the Prime Minister office denied any information to the RTI applicant on the grounds that PM CARES fund is not a public authority under the RTI Act. Information was denied. Information was not given. On what grounds? They said that this PM CARES fund does not come under the framework of RTI Act. Right? Under RTI Act, we have a list of public authorities. Only to those public authorities we can go and ask the information. The government said that this PM CARES fund does not come under that list of public authorities. So information will not be provided. Now this is a severe blow to transparency and accountability, right? Because the information related to how the funds are being spent is not told to the people. So this is a blow to transparency and democratic values. And also, if we see what is this PM CARES fund, it is getting fund from the public. So according to RTI Act, any organization or any NGO or any charitable trust which is significantly publicly funded should come under the framework of RTI. So with that logic, actually PM CARES fund also fits in this public authorities definition. However, the Prime Minister office has denied the information. So because of this controversy, people are asking to shift the funds from PM CARES to NDRF. What is NDRF? National Disaster Response Fund. Here, this NDRF has legal backing because this is set up under the Disaster Management Act 2005. So this very much comes under the definition of public authority, right? This implies NDRF fund is under the framework of RTI. So there is transparency and accountability in the NDRF fund, which is somewhat lacking in the PM CARES fund, right? So this is the first reason why there was a petition. Now the second thing is source of funds. What is the source of fund for the PM CARES and what is the source of fund for this NDRF? If we take PM CARES, as we have discussed before, any individual or corporate whatsoever amount can be donated to this PM CARES, and RTI also is not there for this PM CARES, right? So because of this, anonymity of source of funds is there, right? People don't know how the money is being spent. Now this can be used as a channel for corruption. This also can be used as a channel for money laundering, and also this channel can also be used for quid pro quos. That means private people asking the government to do some favors. In return, they will be giving money to the government. This is called quid pro quo. So all these possibilities are there with the PM CARES fund because we don't know how transparently the funds are being allocated. And just imagine the numbers are 10,000 crores and more money is there in this PM CARES fund. So all this money is public funded. So in that case, if it is brought under RTI, then that would be more beneficial, right? All these possibilities we can eliminate: money laundering, corruption, and quid pro quo. Whereas on the other side, if we see the National Disaster Response Fund, source for these funds is the government itself will charge some extra taxes on some commodities. There is a duty means tax, which is imposed on some products called NCCD, National Calamity Contingency Duty. Now this is one tax that is applied on selected products, and the revenue which the government gets by imposing this duty, that is funded to this NDRF, the National Disaster Response Fund. Apart from this taxes, also the government gives some budgetary allocations also to this NDRF, right? Budgetary allocations. Some budgetary allocations are also made in the budget for this NDRF. So in this way, we can see that NDRF has parliament accountability because budget allocations are there, because the government is taxing and using that money as a fund. Parliament can debate and discuss about this NDRF. right? So transparency and accountability is more in the National Disaster Response Fund. And the third reason is public accounts of India. The third reason why NDRF is a better option than PM CARES is public accounts of India. Now, before we discuss this point, we need to know that there are three funds of India: Consolidated Fund of India, Contingency Fund of India, and Public Accounts of India. Right? This will be discussed in detail in polity classes. However, I would like to tell you briefly. Consolidated Fund of India comes under Article 266(1) of the Constitution. Consolidated Fund of India. Now, what is this Consolidated Fund of India? This fund takes care of the entire revenue and expenditure of the government. All the revenue which the government gets in the form of taxes and loans is a part of this Consolidated Fund of India. And also the entire expenditure which the government makes is also from this Consolidated Fund of India. This is like a treasury for the government of India, this Consolidated Fund of India. Now there is another fund called Contingency Fund of India. This Contingency Fund of India is for financial emergency purposes, right? So this Contingency Fund of India is used when there is financial emergency in India. This is under the control of President. And the third thing is Public Accounts of India. Now even the government also runs some pension schemes, provident fund schemes, insurance schemes, saving schemes. All these schemes are run even by the government. So people contribute their money to these different schemes that are being run by the government. These are not taxes, but still people pay to the government expecting returns in the future. So these kind of public money is kept in the Public Accounts of India, right? This is not kept in the Consolidated Fund of India. In the Consolidated Fund of India, only tax revenues are kept. Saving schemes, insurance schemes, pension schemes, provident fund schemes, all these are kept in Public Accounts of India. Now, this NDRF, the National Disaster Response Fund, is a part of Public Accounts of India, right? This is a part of Public Accounts of India. Now, because this NDRF is a part of Public Accounts of India, there is proper audit and accounting of this fund. There is a constitutional body called CAG, Controller and Auditor General, right? Controller and Auditor General. So this is the constitutional body which actually audits, does the auditing for the government money. How is it spent? Is there any loopholes? Is there any corruption going on? Everything is seen by CAG. So as NDRF is a part of this Public Accounts of India, this comes under the regulatory framework of CAG. Right, so in this way also financial accountability is there. However, PM CARES is not a part of this Public Accounts of India. This is the third point, right? NDRF is a part of Public Accounts of India. This PM CARES is not a part of Public Accounts of India. So this does not come under the financial accountability of the CAG, the Comptroller and Auditor General. So these are the three broad points why it is better to route funds to NDRF rather than PM CARES. First thing is not under the framework of RTI. Second thing is source of the funds, anonymity. And the third thing is even CAG audit is not there. It is not a public authority, and also it does not come under the Public Accounts of India, right? So these are some of the points. Now the other side of the argument, what the government says is PM CARES fund is kept out of all these rules and restrictions because government needs some flexibility during the time of crisis. Because during a disaster, during a crisis situation like Corona, going through all these rules and regulations definitely delays the implementation of some ideas, implementation of programs. So to give some flexibility to allocation of funds, PM CARES fund was kept out of the ambit of RTI Act and the CAG. Right? This is one argument which is given. Flexibility in spending the funds is required during disaster time. And the second thing is, if we see, these are voluntary contributions from the people. These are not taxes which we are demanding from the people, or these are not any saving schemes or insurance schemes which the people are investing in the government. So why PM Cares fund need to be made a part of public accounts of India, right? This is voluntary contribution from the people. So this is the second argument that is kept. So based on these two arguments, if we see, it is justified that PM Cares fund is not under this regulatory framework. But based on the previous three arguments which we have discussed, there are some serious issues of transparency in the PM Cares fund. Right? So this is about PM Cares fund and NDRF. Now coming to NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority. This is also in the news for various reasons throughout this corona time. And this Disaster Management Act 2005, this is the very act by the government to enforce lockdown in our country. This is also a point which we have to remember. This Disaster Management Act 2005 is the very act used by our government to enforce lockdown during the corona time in our country. Right? So NDMA, National Disaster Management Authority. This is a statutory body that is set up under the Disaster Management Act 2005. This is a statutory body. And Prime Minister is the chairperson for this National Disaster Management Authority. And what is its function? This NDMA's function is to formulate policy guidelines for disaster management. To formulate policy guidelines for disaster management. So this is the body that makes the national plan for disaster management. Now today's article of newspaper says that the disaster plan which the NDMA has formulated last year is not dynamic enough to tackle the corona crisis. If we see the corona crisis, this is for the first time India is facing such a biological disaster in a pan-India scale. This is for the first time that India is facing such a biological disaster in a pan-India scale, almost throughout the India. So the plan which the NDMA has prepared is not dynamic enough to react in a spontaneous way for the corona crisis. So that's why they are requesting to make it more accommodative, to update the plan. Right? So this is about NDMA. So overall, if you have to conclude this topic regarding PM Cares Fund, transparency and accountability are sine qua non for good governance. Sine qua non means must and should. Right? Transparency and accountability are sine qua non for good governance. Only when we have transparency and accountability, only then we can ensure public confidence in the government. Right? Only then we can ensure public confidence in the democratic values, and only then good governance is possible. And coming to NDMA, the disaster management plans of India, two important elements which are required in governance is anticipatory governance and proactive governance. So proactive governance and anticipatory governance is required for effective disaster management.